They were born in the same city, under the same sky, breathing the same air. On the day Daniel was born, the sun rose quietly over the rooftops, just as it did on the day Samuel was born a few streets away. Neither of them chose where they came from, what family they entered, or what kind of future waited for them. As children, they laughed at similar jokes, ran after the same footballs, and dreamed without limits. When they were young, the distance between them was small, almost invisible. Daniel grew up in a modest home. It wasn't luxurious, but it was steady. There was always a place to sleep, a meal waiting at night, and someone to ask how his day had gone. When he struggled in school, his parents worried, but they helped him try again. When he failed an exam, it was painful, but it was not the end. Failure for Daniel was a lesson, not a sentence. Each mistake became something he could recover from. Samuel's childhood started similarly, but stability didn't stay long. His family worked hard, but life pushed harder. When money became tight, stress filled the house. When illness came, everything changed. School became irregular. Hunger visited often. Dreams didn't disappear, but they became quieter. Samuel learned early that survival sometimes comes before ambition. As young adults, both men searched for work. Daniel found a job that didn't pay much, but it paid enough. It gave him experience, it gave him connections. When the company downsized, Daniel was scared, but he had time, advice, and a small savings. He stayed with friends, sent applications, and eventually found another opportunity. Each step forward wasn't dramatic, but it was consistent. Samuel also worked. He took jobs wherever he could find them. Construction 1 month, loading trucks another. When he was healthy, he worked hard. But one injury, one accident stopped everything. He couldn't work for weeks, then months. Without income, rent fell behind. Bills stacked up silently, then loudly. Phone calls came, notices arrived. There was no savings, no insurance, no one to lean on for long. Daniel's life kept moving. He learned new skills. Someone showed him how to manage money. Another taught him how to think bigger. Over time, he started something small of his own. It wasn't easy. There were sleepless nights, doubts, moments when quitting felt reasonable. But each time he stumbled, there was a cushion beneath him: time, support, options. Samuel ran out of options quietly. First, he lost his room. Then the couch he slept on wasn't available anymore. Then the streets became familiar. People stopped making eye contact. Some crossed the road to avoid him. Others looked through him as if he were invisible. Every day became a calculation: where to find food, where to stay safe, how to survive the night. Shame became heavier than hunger. Daniel was now called successful. People asked for his advice. They admired his discipline, his mindset, his hard work. And yes, he worked hard. But rarely did anyone ask what might have happened if he had fallen with no one to catch him. Rarely did anyone see the invisible hands that steadied him along the way. Samuel was now called homeless. People assumed laziness, addiction, failure. They didn't see the effort it took just to wake up each day. They didn't see the jobs he once had, the dreams he once carried, or the pain that broke his path. His story was reduced to a label, and the label erased the man. Years passed. Daniel bought a home. Samuel slept outside one. Daniel planned for the future. Samuel focused on the next hour. Both were human. Both felt fear. Both felt hope, though one felt it less often now. The truth is uncomfortable. Hard work matters, but it is not the whole story. Success is not only built by effort. Sometimes it is protected by timing, by help, by a second chance. Sometimes the difference between stability and the street is one illness, one accident, one missed payment. If Samuel had received help at the right moment, his story might have changed. If Daniel had lost support at the wrong moment, his story might have changed too. Behind every successful person is a path we don't fully see. Behind every homeless person is a history we rarely ask about. They are not opposites. They are reflections of how fragile life can be and how powerful opportunity is.
And maybe the real measure of a society is not how many Daniels it celebrates, but how many Samuels it refuses to abandon.